Lois Swinnerton there reporting from Dudley. Now, if you could choose one technology giant to have mentioned on your CV, I have a fair idea that the name Google might be quite a way up the list. So it's no wonder that a company called Ascendancy over in Shifnal is smiling at the moment, because they've been hand-picked with just a handful of companies from a list of nearly 30,000 across the UK to work on a new programme which Google is closely involved in. Helen Culshaw is here to tell us more about it. Helen, Google, good news?
I should say so, yes.
How did it come about then?
It's because we are a Google partner agency, and Google partner agencies are businesses that have been accredited by Google as being proficient in Google AdWords, which is Google's advertising system. So there are about 800 agencies across the UK that have got the Google Partners badge, which basically means we've managed a lot of campaigns, we've got some qualifications, we've got a lot of experience, and we follow best practice. So from among those agencies, Google have selected a small number to work with very closely to help them to grow further. What Google have identified is that one of the best ways of reaching out to the small business market and getting smaller businesses to advertise on Google is for those businesses to work with an agency, because it can sometimes be quite challenging for them to manage it themselves without any prior experience. So what Google are doing is they're picking a small number of agencies who are delivering strong campaigns for their clients, who've got a good track record, and working with those agencies to help them grow further.
So by the time, so it's a series of workshops, programmes over the course of what sort of length of time?
Yes, it's over a 6-month period. There are a series of different workshops. The 15 agencies from across the UK come together at Google London, and we work with a top business coach. His books are have a foreword from Richard Branson.
Right.
So he's got a good pedigree. And he particularly works with digital agencies. That's his particular specialism as a business coach. So we have these sessions with him in London.
And you've had a couple already, haven't you?
We have had 2 already. Absolutely fantastic. What's really useful is not only to have the input from Robert Craven, the coach, but also to have access to the 14 other agencies from around the UK. None of them are really on our patch. We're the only agency from the Midlands that's been selected for the programme. There are agencies from Scotland, Northern Ireland, quite a lot from the southeast. And because none of us directly compete with each other, everybody's very open about their businesses and things that they've done that have worked and not worked.
And is there much common ground there or not, or are you all quite different?
Loads. I mean, actually the agencies are all different sizes. So the smallest agency is actually a one-man band, and the largest, well, I don't know, but they've got hundreds of staff. So they've picked agencies from across the spectrum of sizes. It's more based on good practice rather than the size. Agency size.
Well, and you're based in Shifnal, so what size are you?
Well, at the moment there are 7 of us, and we're about to bring on board our latest new recruit in September, which is going to be an apprentice. It's the first time we've taken on an apprentice, so that's it's going to be quite exciting to see how that pans out. And
you've been trading for what, 10, 11 years now?
Yes.
How different is the sort of work you were doing back then to the sort of work you're doing now?
Probably not as different as you would expect, particularly with regard to search engine optimization. A lot of agencies will tell you that, oh, it changes all the time, Google's algorithm's always changing. But to be honest, it's always been about great content and having a great reputation on the web. And those 2 cornerstones have never really changed. The Google AdWords advertising, that's got a lot more complex over time.
Explain that to people that maybe don't know too much about it.
Yeah, Google AdWords is the platform that delivers the ads that you see across the top of Google and down the right-hand side. And you pay for your advertising on a pay-per-click basis. So each time somebody clicks on your ad, you pay a fee to Google. Sometimes a very small fee, sometimes quite a large fee. It depends how competitive the market is in terms of what people are prepared to pay. But the idea of it is that obviously the new business it will bring you will outweigh the cost, and that's where we work with clients to help them to optimise their spend and get the largest number of sales or inquiries out of their budget.
And of course we should say obviously that's not the only platform that is inviting people to spend money to boost their profile. I mean, a lot of people are using Facebook now, aren't they? And so what do you advise companies, you know, if they come to you, if I'm a business and I say to you, I'd like to raise my profile, I think I should be spending some money online or on social media, how do I go about it and how much should I spend? Where do you start?
We start by looking at any existing information that they've got about the performance of their website. So we start by looking at what things have they tried before and how well did those work. We look at the market that they're in. So we have a look to see how competitive it is. You want to do things that are going to be perhaps slightly different to what your competitors are doing. But at the same time, if none of your competitors are advertising on Google, then perhaps that's because they've all tried it and it doesn't work. Yeah. So you need to take those things into account, and you need to look at the nature of the business, of course, because different things work for different businesses, and we certainly don't tell everybody that they should be advertising on Google or tell everybody that they should be advertising on Facebook, because it really depends on the individual characteristics of the business and the market that they're operating in, as well as the resources that they've got, of course.
Yeah, so there's more than one strand, isn't there, when you're actually sitting there, and that's the beauty of presumably taking time to sit and work out what a company really, where their priorities are, what their marketing spend is. What do you think you'll have learned? Do you think you were doing anything more differently when you come out at the other end of your Google programme?
I think yes, but they won't be big changes. So the reason that all of these agencies have been selected to go on the programme is that they're doing quite well already. So I don't think we need to make any radical changes. But I think in business, generally speaking, in any case, it's more a case of doing lots of things, lots of small things right, than it is necessarily in making big sweeping changes. So I've already got a list as long as your arm of small changes that I'm going to be making.
Well, Helen, time's got the better of us. Thank you for coming in.